The morning I sat on my porch with 2 pies cooling beside me and no cars pulling into the driveway, I realized just how heavy an unkept promise can feel. My kids had sworn that they'd visit that Saturday. "We miss you, Mom," they'd said. "We'll be there." I believed them the way mothers do, with my whole heart. The sun was warm, and the scent of cinnamon drifted from the kitchen. I dusted the old dining table, set out the blue plates they loved growing up, and even picked fresh flowers from the yard, arranging them in the mason jar vase my daughter made in 3rd grade. I kept glancing down the road, listening for tires crunching on gravel, the way they used to when they came home from school. But the hours stretched. The pies cooled. The coffee pot beeped and grew cold. My little house filled with silence so thick it pressed against my chest. Still, I waited. Mothers are good at waiting. By late afternoon, the sky dimmed to that soft small-town amber, and my porch light flickered on automatically. I finally checked my phone. One text from my son, "Sorry, Mom, something came up." Nothing from my daughter at all. I stared at that message until the screen darkened, feeling something inside me dim right along with it. The next morning at church, the smell of brewed coffee and powdered donuts floated through the fellowship hall. Neighbors chatted about grandkids, vacations, new recipes. When Mrs. Turner asked how my visit went, I smiled politely, but my voice wobbled. She touched my arm gently and said, "Honey, you deserve better." Hearing that made my throat tighten, because it was the truth I'd been avoiding. That afternoon, I sat at my kitchen table, sunlight streaming through the lace curtains, and I made a decision. If my children were too busy to come to me, I wouldn't keep shaping my life around their absence. I love them, that never changes, but love shouldn't leave you sitting alone with cold coffee and untouched pies. So I started saying yes to things again. I joined the quilting circle downtown, where the hum of sewing machines and the laughter of women filled the room with warmth. I volunteered at the library's story hour, where children's giggles wrapped around me like a soft blanket. I invited neighbors over for Sunday supper, and my home glowed with conversation and clattering dishes. A few weeks later, my kids showed up, together, surprised to see my driveway full of cars and my table surrounded by friends. My daughter hugged me tightly, whispering, "We should have been here." I squeezed her hand and said, "You're here now." And in that moment, I realized something tender but strong: a mother's heart may break, but it also mends, and when it does, it makes room for both the family you're given and the family you grow. Sometimes healing begins the moment you choose joy over waiting for someone else's apology.